I think I've seen a few relationships that have become sad, that we've done everything we have to do to try to mend the relationship, but it's still the same. This is usually because of lack of communication.
Okay.
I think there was just the communication bit that was missing, and then instead of communicating with themselves, they were communicating with third parties.
It's lately that I'm learning to know that you have to, because it will help if the relationship going to move forward.
Yeah.
Because it's a hurt.
Yeah.
You have to talk about it and work at it.
I've also noticed in some friendships that I've seen that when someone is not secure or certain about their purpose, where they are going, it's easy to start to compare, look at another person, envy sets in, jealousy sets in, and then there starts to be friction.
We are saying that the things that destroy, they are
Some of
little
these
things
Right.
that accumulate together. They come 1, 2, 3. Like by the time you realize you are using the fact that the person wasn't there. What's up, guys? Welcome to Conversations with Elton. My name is Elton, and I'm your host. And this way, a space where we have conversations um, concerning life, faith, and the things we don't talk about much. If today happens to be your first time, you are welcome. If you've been here before, thank you for rocking with us. In the past episodes, we looked at the fact that great relationships are not built casually. It takes efforts. You can't just build them just like that. And we looked at things we must do to build great relationships. Today, we are going to look at things we must avoid to destroy that things that destroy great relationships. And before I start, I want to read a scripture with you guys. And this verse, actually, the last time was I preached at a wedding. That was my main verse. Song of Solomon 2:15. Bible says that catch us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines, for our vines have tender grapes. What Solomon was saying is that the things that destroy big relationships are not big, but they are little things. Just like how little foxes destroy huge vines, little things destroy big and great relationships, both marriage and destiny relationships, just little things. So today I'm going to look at some of these things. And perhaps you have great relationships that are thriving, but you still need to listen to these things. So as usual, I'm here with my co-host or guest. You guys, what are you? Okay, guest.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right,
yes.
all right. So I'm here with Edwina, Love, and Mickey. Guys, you're welcome. Good to see all of you.
Thank you.
All right. So, have you had any relationship that's got destroyed? Anybody wants to share life? Just looking at your faces, and I have a first question for you. So, anybody wants to share like a personal experience, short, like a relationship that went bad?
Why you giving me the microphone? I don't know if it's between our faces that we have, but
Right.
um, I would say yes. I've had a few, and it was just lack of trust at
Okay.
some point.
Lack of trust. All right.
Yeah. I don't know if one person didn't show loyalty at some point, but the trust wasn't there again.
Okay.
The trust of okay, I'm giving you everything, or I'm your like, I don't know, just handing over your life to another
Somebody.
person
Right.
wasn't there anymore, and it stopped
Before
them.
you, guys, if this is your first time, I'm not talking about a boy and girl relationship. We are talking about relationships in general. So it applies to every kind of relationship. So yeah.
Yeah, and and it just didn't it just no, it didn't grow.
Okay.
It's not like the relationship stopped,
Okay.
but it didn't go further, it didn't go deeper. It just
Okay.
ended at a
So
particular
there was
place.
no
There was
trust.
no trust anymore.
Okay.
And we didn't just wake up and there was no trust. It was like from various maybe events happening.
So just little things as I mentioned.
And yeah, I think that's one of the things for me. That's my
Okay.
experience that what I've noticed. Yeah.
Ladies,
When you say bad, like you said, they ended like on a bad
like
note.
maybe your relationship suffered or struggled at a point and was a little thing that caused it. Or maybe you see it as big, but any relationship you had that you had an issue.
Not personally, but
Okay, maybe you've heard somebody.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen.
Edwina is a premium friend.
Always.
Revelations are intact. Yeah.
Not personally, but I think I've seen a few relationships that have become sad that we've done everything we have to do to try to mend the relationship, but it's still the same. This is usually because of lack of communication.
Okay.
I think there was just the communication bit that was missing. And
Mm.
then instead of communicating with themselves, they were communicating with third parties.
Okay.
That's where like communicate third parties who will come and also say
Something. Yeah.
a high point of view of it. So I just feel like what ended the relationship or made the relationship sour was the fact that they just lacked communication. Yeah.
So, guys, if you're watching, Edwina has given us the first point, a lack of communication, which I think is true.
Mm.
Without proper communication, we leave room for assumptions. So, once you don't say the things you want to say, a lot of people are going to assume. People
Right.
are going to think this is what you are saying. And I always say this: communication is only complete when the person has understood what you were trying to say,
Yeah.
not because you have said it. There are sometimes people say, "Oh, but I told you, I mentioned it,
Yeah.
I said it." It doesn't mean the relation, it doesn't mean you've communicated. Saying something does not mean you have communicated. So perhaps you are struggling in your relationships and you feel like you are talking. Talking is not communication. Communication is complete when what you have said has been understood the way you want it to be understood.
Right.
Else, it's going to be a big problem for you. Any other thing? So Edwina has given us lack of communication. Any other thing?
You said trust or
Trust. Yeah, maybe another thing. And I think that when trust is not there, people begin to suspect each other. So suspicion comes in. You begin to second guess the person's um actions. Like, why is she doing this? Why is he doing it? Does he really mean what he's doing? The person even sends you a message and ask yourself, does she really mean what she's saying? Or is it because it's my birthday? Whether you've been there before. Where you go like, this message, the person's actions and the message are different.
yeah.
Um, are you really saying this? Is it from your heart or is it just my birthday? So trust. I mean, when there's no trust, there's a lot of suspicion. We begin to second guess. Why do you do this? Why are you saying that?
Right.
That sort of thing, right? Any other thing that destroys
I'd say insecurities.
insecurities? Okay, how you are
Sometimes.
saying it calmly.
Oh,
It's good. Like the insecurities, yeah.
I've
Okay,
also noticed in some friendships that I've seen that when someone is not secure or certain about their purpose, where they are going, it's easy to start to compare, look at another person, envy sets in, jealousy sets in, and then there starts to be friction. Sometimes the other person doesn't even know where
Right.
it's coming from, but it's just a seed of insecurity within the other person that is starting to cause some
so
tension.
just to get what you are trying to say, is it the insecurity that brings the comparison, or the comparison brings the insecurity, or you think they work hand in hand?
I think it works hand in hand.
Okay. So once we begin to compare ourselves to maybe the person, I think that there are some times where even in a relationship, you begin to see that the other person is thriving. You started this together. Or maybe you even gave the person the idea, or the person came to learn from you, and it looks like the person is doing better now. By the time you realize, you begin to feel some way towards the person, and then, or the person is progressing in life in a certain aspect, and you feel like you are stuck.
Hmm.
Then you feel like, okay, you are ahead in life. I cannot be your friend. I'm down here. You are up there. So I think that's a great point too. Yeah. Any other
So I think based on what Love said, I mean, a lot of things come out of it. For instance, pride, jealousy. I think these things find a way to um not ruin the relationship, but just make the relationship sour. So
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I remember the last episode you mentioned values, like when your values aren't aligned
Right.
as a team. So I've told you that
It's easily
that
destroyed.
we are
Yeah.
Yeah.
going one way, I also am going another way, and
Right.
then distance, and then
And
also.
guys, as you said, they are little. They look small, but they have the potential to destroy relationships. Now, so saying all that, what about expectations in entering relationships? Should we communicate expectations, or should people know what I'm expecting from you as a friend? does it make the relationship better? Or
Such a strange question. Again, some questions make sense for. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, but I realized that we talk more about these things for like romantic relationships.
yeah,
When Papa was asking the question, I was like, hey, I don't think I've ever sat. Okay, that's what I expect from you as a friend.
yeah. But if you think about it, now, if you go and check the reason why some relationships are destroyed, you go and see that it's because the person felt like the person did not do something I was expecting the person to do.
I think it's just not said.
It's just not said.
Yeah,
It's
but
unspoken.
yeah,
Yeah, it's unspoken. But the
Yeah.
person
But
and
it's there.
everybody seems to have some expectations.
What are your expectations as a friend?
So, for instance, we go to camp. You're sitting by someone, and then like you have your bag, like your bag is in the seat and everything, but you stood up before, like we closed, and your friend is sitting by you, more or less like your roommate is sitting by you, and then you come and then she didn't pick up your bag for you.
So you're expecting.
You definitely expect
So-
that. Oh,
Something that you can get upset about.
Yes, people do.
Definitely.
Love, they are.
I did that to you.
Yeah.
iPhone 17 Pro Max inside.
Yeah.
Cash that the
Some
client
cash
was giving.
stuff. Yeah. And then you come and you just see your
You just
bag
see your
there,
bag
and
there
there's
like
no,
that.
everybody's gone.
Have you not been?
Really?
Have you not been?
Are you going to? I'm so surprised at this question. Are you going to just be like, oh,
No,
she forgot?
She forgot.
make you don't even look at iPhone 17. You are in a space where all of us were hungry. I was sitting with you. We all spoke about eating, and then by the time I realized you are eating,
Right.
the next person will realize that but we were all in this hangar together.
I love you so good. Like,
You were saying
It's
somebody's
not-
a
it's
premium
not-
friend. You are a premium.
Pro Max.
People forget.
Unspoken.
but-
Unspoken.
Even this food thing.
Yeah.
One of our past seasons. I mean, Sherry was on the podcast, so I'm throwing Sherry under the bus. Remember when we were all hungry? She went to buy, but she not buy food. She buy what?
Yeah, but sometimes it's the little of this, the
Yeah.
little of the other one. Why do you think
That
that
makes
when people have issues, when you go and check why they are arguing, you realize that the thing sometimes have you not been in a
But
situation?
then that
someone
means
just
does that mean that
something.
there's an underlying issue?
So that what becomes the underlying? The underlying issue is the little things we are speaking
No,
about.
so it's not like this instance is going to be
It's
something
going
that's going
to
to
ruin
break the
everything.
relationship. No.
It's
but
like
the
the little
They are
seed,
the
the
Yes.
little
Yes,
exactly.
that go
Exactly.
a long way.
Yeah.
Hey, love, you seem to be a loving person.
Because I asked her that what are the expectations?
So their expectations are look, you have my back, like you are watching
Yeah,
out for me.
you're looking out
You
for
are
me.
looking out for me. You are thinking about what
Yeah.
I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
They are little, but they are huge.
Yeah. In the long
Uh,
run.
And trust me, and I think that sometimes because we don't have expectations, we don't state
don't
them
say it.
out. That is how come our relationships struggle. Because now, even in a boy and a girl relationship, the expectations are not always anything that have to do with like romantic. My emotions are all over the place. They are the little things, and it's the same things that apply in many relationships.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, speaking of, she said the rules are plenty.
Friends back. But I mean, if they don't, I can just come. I can imagine myself say, "Oh,
no, that's what we are
It's
saying.
fine. Like it's okay. Don't worry. Like it's not a big deal for you.
It's
Yeah.
that you just flow and give room, and like we said in the previous,
Yeah.
allowance and all of that. But I
Yeah.
say, yet, however, people still have expectations.
Yeah,
Expectations.
people
Yeah.
do.
Because for me, I just feel like I have a lot of expectations. So
Do you say them?
what are your
no,
So
so
love,
I don't.
love.
I don't.
I'm coming before we even get love. Even in your family setting, like
Yeah.
you and your siblings. By the time you realize the reason why some families like there's a lot of struggle
Sure.
among siblings is because of expectations.
Yeah.
When somebody feels like I wasn't around, I was supposed to do the dishes. I wasn't around, and you could have done it for me. You know that I went for rehearsal, like I was doing something of that sort, and you've made mommy come to talk to me like that.
Yeah.
Because the person and what was the expectation? Do the dishes for me.
You have to come.
Simple.
Yeah. You didn't have my back.
Love.
I don't know. I think I was expecting. I don't know because when you said expectations,
Expectations.
like these are things that
You should know.
not that you should know, but
You should go
human
as a friend.
beings slip up. in a sense. So, for
Allowance.
example, maybe with the way my mind works, for example, the example Papa I gave about siblings and dishes, I may feel like, oh, but then I'll immediately say,
Give an
well, it was
excuse.
supposed to be my
Right.
work, so why would I expect him to do it for me?
Yeah, but
And then
love,
it's like that's
I
fine.
get you. You're
It's
unique.
really. I don't think it's. I don't think it's. Let's not look at it like it's a big deal. Like maybe he didn't do the dishes for you, and then like you're
That's
making a big deal.
I think that
No,
it keeps happening.
ignore. But is that something that would have been nice if he had done it for you?
and then
Do you get it?
and then this thing
It's
in the
making me ask myself, what are my expectations?
oh,
Because
this
if it's like,
the goal of the podcast.
hey, what are my expectations?
Because with time, what you begin to say, like when you talk to siblings and you ask them, how's your relationship with your sister or your brother? And then the person will tell you that I don't feel like my sister loves me enough. I don't feel like my brother loves me enough. Love, when you go and check, it's not because the person wanted the brother to pay the fees for the person. It's not because the person traveled and expected the person to bring me like $1,000, like with like a bag worth
Right.
$1,000. It is just the little things the brother has done over the years,
Yeah.
the little times where the sister was not there for the person, and the person just puts all together and
Yep.
feels like, you don't care about me. Utami, the person will come and say that when it was time for me to go to school, when Daddy Dems wanted me to go to this school, you were there. You never said that, no, I think that she wants to go to the school. So the expectation for that person is that I feel like I've shared my life with you, so you should be there for me when daddy and mommy are trying to force some things down. So these are
Okay. What about when you communicate the expectations? For instance, you ask me to do something for you,
yeah.
and then I end up not doing it. How do you feel?
Love, you look lost. Are you okay?
I'm
You're processing everything.
processing.
Okay, let's go back to Mickey. Mickey said he had some expectations, so let's go back. Our time is going.
Like I'm just saying that for me, I expect a lot from my relations with people.
Yeah,
Yes, because I do a lot. Like I'm really, really invested in any kind of relationship.
right.
So
So
some way,
would you say
somehow,
people who are invested in relationships have expectations too?
yeah. I mean, some point you
Definitely.
just be like you need to see like returns. I don't want to make it so financial. So you need to see. Sorry, I'm making diplomatic
Yeah,
and
yeah.
because but at some point you just expect good. You
Yeah.
just expect people to just treat you
Right.
better because you have just done the same.
And I think that sometimes the reason why you're expecting them to do something good is because your interpretation of the person's acknowledgement is the good the person is doing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when the person does good, and all you're saying, okay, I realize this person has acknowledged what I'm trying to do. Like it's saying thank you for all you have done for me with my little act of service.
Yeah.
And I think as you were talking, what came to my mind is that I feel like sometimes our expectations are along the line of our love languages.
Well, I don't expect. Well, my love language is my top is physical touch.
Right.
I don't expect everybody to be.
Touching.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
expect
but,
that.
but Mickey, it
If it happens, fine. Oh, that's
yes,
cool.
you
You
might
know me.
think in the moment you might think that you don't have that expectation, but with time you realize that anybody who, for example, acts of service, with time you said that, oh me, I like doing things for people, like I like doing things for people, I'm always there for people, that sort of thing. By the time you realize you want people to be there for you, and that's the reason why people burn out emotionally when it comes to relationships, because they feel like I have been going for long. Nobody's going for me.
But I think it's true when you said the love language. I think that's why I was like because majority of the things that we've mentioned is like acts of service things, and I
Yeah.
think for me, I'm a type of person that I don't like to disturb anyone or bother anyone. I
Right.
would prefer, so I'm not really expecting
Right.
like you to. So I don't expect. Okay, expectations. Okay, because I don't expect because I'm like, oh, you don't owe me anything.
Yeah.
But I do like conversation present. So maybe something along those lines can actually help me. But the little service things, like I said, if the dishes, I would have said, oh well, it was my work.
Right.
So I
It's
don't really
fine.
expect you to, so it's fine. Or it was my bag and I left it here. So why am I upset with you for leaving it? Because I also left my bag here. So these are the things I'm like, okay, fine, it's fine.
Like the person is not coming to you. she mentioned that she made a very good point that most of the time our expectations are around our love language. So for her, if it's communications quality time, it will mean a lot to you if
Love,
the
I think this
person
is something you
failed
have to
at
think
that
about
around
now.
that particular
You have
Okay,
to take
so
time to think about it.
this is also okay, Love. Before you answer the question, this is what also comes to my mind. I feel like when we are talking about expectations not being communicated, we should look beyond, like, okay, Edwina is my friend. Let's sit down. This is what I expect from you.
Yeah, you know that.
That's not what we are talking about. We are talking about the fact that we are in a season, we are embarking on something. I feel like you should tell me how like you the help I need from you as I'm doing this, or pointing out something. So, scenario you give about the bag, don't just get up and think the person will take your bag for you. You should tell the person, please, just in case I don't come back, could you please take my bag? So that's an expectation being communicated,
Yeah.
so that when the person doesn't pick the bag, you don't come and it becomes something else thinking. Because I mean, there are some people who really don't know what they should do in a at a certain point, because they maybe feel like, I don't know how she wants this, I don't know how he wants this, I don't want to go and touch it, and then I'm going to spoil it.
But in this case, you've been doing it for the person. In this case, it's always the person who steps out, and you always pick the bag,
Yeah,
and then you step out one time,
and the person
and the
doesn't.
person doesn't.
So that's why you have to still communicate it. I feel like once things are not communicated, we live. I think the previous episode, a lot of assumptions, like a lot of, why is the person not doing this? Why is the person not saying this? So relationships get destroyed because expectations.
But is it okay to not have expectations?
Um, we are, the way God has created us, we are people who are connected to other people. We'll always depend on people, in quotes. We'll always need people to thrive. The fulfillment of our purpose cannot be done without other people. We always need people. So we are always going to have relationships in our lives.
So maybe when I say, like, maybe I don't have, or you don't have expectations for people, like, if it's done,
It's fine. Like,
yeah,
if
if it's
it's
done, yeah, that's fine. If it's not done too, it's not like you're looking forward to. Like Bola was
That's
saying.
how I.
Yeah, I think I also think I don't have expectations for
okay,
people. Maybe it's just my inner circle.
right.
But in terms of like a community, like CY,
The
like
relationships you're talking about have much to do with people who are close.
close,
Yeah, close by. Those are the kinds of people we are talking about. Now,
right?
you might say that you don't have expectations.
I don't think.
You don't
I
think
don't
you
think.
don't think you have
Yeah, I don't think
expectations.
I have.
But with time, it's a season of your life where you feel like you don't have expectations. But I don't know what the seasons might bring.
Right.
You might travel into another country, and then you see somebody you were living together with in Ghana. Obviously, your expectation is that, oh, can you meet me at the airport? Can you take me around? I don't know whether I get what I'm saying. You not
Well,
come to the country expecting that, oh, you not come to the country with the mind that
if it was me, I won't bother you.
you, oh, wow.
Yeah. It was
Okay. It's a season.
This
yeah.
episode,
So if you say a season now, then I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
possible.
maybe in your
Yeah.
in a season where you find yourself
Yeah.
now,
Right
don't
now,
feel like,
episode,
yeah,
I'm coming to listen because I've realized that there's something wrong. Always knew that, oh, I have a bit of a struggle here and there, but now I realize that maybe there's a bigger problem than I thought. So
there are people like you. So, yeah,
yeah.
like you.
Yeah, yeah,
They are
yeah.
saying it's not like casting, so
Like
it's like absolute. Like, as a dinner say, maybe now she doesn't have. There are people who also don't have expectations.
Yeah.
But the thing or the truth is that there are people. Many relationships are destroyed because people have not communicated
Yeah.
expectations.
but do you think that not having an expectation in itself is a problem? Because now I'm
I'm
thinking,
not saying it's a
no,
problem.
but I'm thinking, I'm
Okay,
referring to myself,
right.
right? Because I've said it before that, oh, I've struggled in the area of not romantic, but just like general relationships. So I'm starting to feel like, is that
could-
my problem?
Yeah, could that
Because
be?
I don't have expectations of people, but people do. But because I don't have expectations, I'm a bit, And then they're like, oh, love, why aren't you? So
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, I
it's
could that
possible.
be the
Maybe
issue?
what you've
It's possible.
experienced before, or some experiences you've had in the past, have made you to get to a point where now you're like, see, whatever can happen.
It's not a trauma.
From No, no, not trauma. Not like intentional. Like it's just something that has happened that you didn't really pay much attention to at the time.
Yeah.
It's possible that it just grew.
I think in that instance, I grew up in like a large,
Yeah.
family. And so at a point in my life, what I remember is I really craved solitude. Like it was a lot. Like the people, I know I'm a pastor's kid, people always come to the house, you're sleeping with 10 children, people running around. So there was a season that we all felt like, oh, it would be nice to just have
To
some
just be
quiet and some
yeah.
time to yourself. And I think when we eventually got that, maybe I overdid the
Right.
so I just formed that mindset of, oh, it's not I don't love my friends or I don't, but I can, in a sense, function
Yeah.
in a certain vein.
Does it
And
also
then
being like like it's allowance? She's gotten to a point where she's just where we spoke about allowance
Th-
and giving room for people to make
right.
mistakes. So right now she has that.
diagnose me. Diagnose.
No, I'm asking. I'm asking to no, no, no. I'm asking to because I also feel that way. Like people are saying like seasonal. Currently, like I don't really have expectations for anybody,
Right.
honestly.
That's
So
what I'm saying. It's seasonal. But do you know that once you get married, you are going to have expectations in the marriage?
for a relationship,
That's what I'm saying. That it almost feels like it shouldn't be.
Now I'm coming. Let me finish my. Your expectations are not just going to be expectations you have of your husband. By the time you realize, you start having expectations of your parents, of your siblings, of other people who are close in your life. Because let me give you a classic example. Once you give birth, you expect to have some help. Once you have 3 children, by the time you realize, okay, like, maybe because you are not there, that's why I don't see it. Once you have like
if my
four
husband doesn't help
children,
me, it's okay. Is that how you are going?
No, can't touch. I was going to say that.
Oh, he came home. He's
For some
tired, so it's
reason, I
fine.
feel like in a romantic relationship, it's easier to communicate an expectation or walk in with an
right?
expectation. But for the example you give, I've actually thought about it before. For my husband, yes, there's an expectation because we created that
Plenty.
child. But outside of that, I've
Yeah.
thought about it before. Oh, if my mom can't come, oh, if my friends can't come, it's like everybody's living their life.
Okay,
Why
it's
should
because
I
of
expect you
right,
to end your life
right,
because I have given birth to a child
right.
that I'm upset with you? Like,
No, that's what we are saying, that the things that destroy, they are
And some of
little
these things.
things
right.
that accumulate together. They come 1, 2, 3. Like by the time you realize, you are using the fact that the person wasn't there. Even to hear people say that I wasn't invited for a party, is added to something did not happen. That is added to something did not happen.
Yes.
And then the person feels like, oh, I'm not that, what we share is not that deep. I thought that we shared a deep relationship. And then obviously it's not that deep. And you can ask the person why. Oh, I wasn't invited. I wasn't here. And even in this particular group, I was also not. It was sometimes maybe an oversight. We've done a lot of expectations. I mean, these things vary. People enter relationships, but what we are saying is that once you have expectations of somebody, you should communicate it.
Yeah.
Once you feel like I need help with this, please communicate it. Don't assume that the person should know, because once you don't communicate, the person can do what the person feels is right, and eventually you might not appreciate what the person has done. So always make sure that you communicate expectations along the line. If you need help, I mean, you need to be somebody who learns how to receive help from people. When you need help, you can tell somebody, please help me. I need you to help me with this. It's perfect. So guys, any other thing that destroys relationships, or I should bring something for us to talk about. Okay, unresolved hurts, and like when there's a conflict, there are some people don't who don't say that I'm not a confrontational person. I don't want to bring it up. But some people who also say we have to talk about this now. How does unresolved hate?
Mickey's laugh.
No, just like I just don't like those people. Like they feel like we have to talk about it like now.
When do
Right.
you want to talk about it?
So what is the
No,
conflict?
the problem is not the now. The problem is that why do we have to talk about it? Like, why do we have to talk about it?
So how the person know and not do
No,
it?
because it's lately that I'm learning to know that you have to, because it will help if the relationship going to move forward.
Yeah,
Because it's a hurt.
Yeah.
You have to talk about it and work at it being healed.
that's true.
But I'm like, okay, it was me. I'll just forgive you. I'll just move on. So you to just forgive me and move on. The
I,
people
I
are not
think
like
it's
that.
a guy thing.
Most people are not.
I believe, and I've come to I've come to us Edwina saying about
The
guys
guy thing.
that we
It's
don't
like it's a guy thing.
We all know that we-
Yeah, they move on like
know
so
why.
quickly about situations. Most guys, some guys, some, like
one.
some.
I think that not to drag this, but I think that it would depend on which kind of relationship the guy has. That's that really, people who drag things, it depends. No, the truth is some people who drag things in relationships. Look, you might not agree, but people who drag things in relationships sometimes it's because of the value they place on a relationship. It's special. They more like feel like we have to fight for this to work. Sometimes people move ahead so quickly because they feel like this is a common relationship. It's not. There's nothing to fight for. Why should we become better? It's not going anywhere. So you go and check. Sometimes the reason I'm not justifying people dragging things for long. I'm just saying the reason why some people drag things is because of the hope they have in the relationship. Because we are talking about why confrontation. I believe I was saying something before I got you. Let me gather my thoughts. I think that silence destroys relationships more than confrontation.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
I believe because once people are silent about something that you have done, in their silence, they go and have more reason why they are hit by your actions.
Assume.
And then this episode, I'm sure we use the word assumption maybe 100 times. But then a lot of things come to the person's mind.
Yeah.
The person says that you did this, and you go and check the. If you talk about it, realize that it was nowhere near what you are saying. But because you were silent, you went to sit down and you begin to add things that even happened in the past. You add things I've heard about the person. You add things that other people are even saying about the person. By the time you realize, you come to a conclusion which doesn't exist.
Right.
So I think that's what the Bible says, that we should speak the truth in love. We should confront people with the intention that I love this relationship. I love this person. I see you in my future. I see me with you in our future. So I don't want to destroy what we have now. So let's talk about it.
I just want to say something about the silence.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that even though we are like encouraging people to voice out and to speak and not be silent, sometimes how you go about speaking,
Yeah.
and sometimes the reason why I would choose today salvation has come. I would choose to be silent because for me it helps. I feel like the person that they don't like they may not understand what I'm really saying, and maybe that's a communication problem.
Yeah.
And so I prefer to just be
Be
silent about it
silent about it.
and just move past the
Yeah.
thing. But I realized that in those times, for me, I don't know if it's only me, I have like I have a lot of I play a lot of conversations in my mind. Like the conversations I've had and I haven't have
Yeah.
had. Like I play it. Like I play myself going to talk to this thing about this person and see how the person like just give him all the possible examples or
Yeah.
reaction that will come from the person. And then I'm like, oh, just not talk about it.
Hmm.
Those are
So I don't know if it's wrong if I really need to talk about everything.
When we say we should talk, it doesn't mean that okay, now you just go out there, hey, why do you do this? I feel like the way you looked at me, that's not what we are talking about. But what I want to state is that healthy relationships will require having difficult conversations. There's no healthy relationship that is easy. I mean, when you even go to the hospital and you're unwell, one of the first things they start, now somebody has come and say, I'm in pain. One of the first things they can do is to prick you. Why would you prick me when I've come saying that I've been in pain the whole night? Because without that difficult thing, we can't diagnose the main problem. So sometimes it looks, in the meantime, the difficult situation looks like the, the most painful thing to discuss, but eventually it just makes the relationship
But
healthy.
I think to buttress your points, bringing out what Mickey, because I'm also a silence in my head person. But I see you made a point where you were like, you start to play conversations out, including conversations that have not been had. So that means in that conversation, you are making an assumption for how the person would respond. And for me, I've seen that has also been a downfall
Yeah.
because now when you actually get to the point of having an actual conversation. You feel like, oh, I know this person. I know Papa. This is let me even use Papa as an example, right? There are certain instances we've had where it's like maybe I didn't speak up and I'm like, oh, because I thought you would be angry at me or I expected you to be had in my head. I've played out that conversation that okay, once I speak to Papa, he will say so and so and so. And then I actually have the conversation with him and he's like, oh, like that's not the response that I expected. And it's like, oh, if you had spoken up earlier, you could have avoided all of that because you are working in like you're taking a decision based on what you've assumed the person will do. But you actually have to have the conversation with the person to know and then make your decision. So I think that buttresses what Papa was saying about healthy communication.
One of the things, I've realized is sometimes, and when Mickey was talking, could it be that the reason why sometimes we are not confrontational is because we are selfish. We are thinking about just ourselves. So I don't want to talk about it because of how I'll feel by what you say.
Yeah.
It could be like a thin line where, because if the relationship is our goal, we'll do everything for the relationship to stand.
But sometimes it's also fear
It's also fear. Okay.
because it's like aside from the selfishness is oh I think you would do this and I'm afraid to handle your anger, your discomfort,
Right.
your sadness, your disappointment. Like I don't want to confront, especially when you think the person's response is going to be negative. And it's like, I don't know how I'm going to handle if I tell you this thing now you start to cry, what will I do? If you tell me I'm disappointed in you, I never want to talk to you again, what would I do? And sometimes you don't want to handle that negative emotion or feedback the person will give you. So it's like, you know what? Let me save myself this and then just let it slide.
All right.
That's one thing that I fear the most.
Right.
Is that could it be that this small thing that I am going to voice out or talk to you about is going to be the thing that's going to end this relationship? Yeah, that's one thing that I fear the most. So if I look at it and it's going to be too emotion, like there's going to be so many emotions like involved in this simple thing that I still need to mention, then I might also just keep quiet. That's what I fear the most. So it's like because there's a lot of investment and intentionality and into the relationship. So if over this you can just say, okay, you know what? Okay, I don't think this is going to help us. I'm not talking about love relationship. I'm talking about like I don't think
Yeah.
we are maybe we are not good as friends. I think we should just give ourselves boundaries. That's not a nice thing to okay.
Right.
So I'll just do it. That's
Right.
But
that's what
I
happens. So
think
I
that
fear a lot.
sometimes we just have to know that no one takes correction easy. Even with us ourselves, like if someone comes to you right now and just tells you that you did this, you did that, I mean, it's so natural for the first thing to do is to defend yourself
Right.
instead of like accepting what the person is saying. I think that if you try to accept what the person says before you then try to like defend, then that's when there's always going to be like an issue with this confrontation. Because nobody takes correction easy. It's not,
Right.
it always doesn't come easy. It's a very difficult situation to be in where someone calls you and say, I want to have a conversation with you about something that you did. You always not like maybe how it is said,
Right.
what the person said. It will always not be a nice thing to hear, but I think we just have to get ourselves to accept whatever is being said first than to always go into defense.
Right.
Always see it as an attack, especially if it's a meaningful friendship you have.
Right.
It shouldn't be that I'm coming to, like, for instance, Mickey, you expect Kimati to be able to correct you. Unless in a relationship you don't have that, because I should be able to correct you, you should be able to correct me. So we just have to get to a point where we should be able to accept correction as it comes, even though it's difficult sometimes. Yeah.
Right. So the woman of God
Well said.
has concluded
We've
that
accepted a correction. That's not, we will try our very best.
to behave from now.
Wow.
Right.
That was,
Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
solid. So
Yeah.
I believe that we should always talk about things. And Love and Mickey, you said something which I think is profound. That what must we say? Which kind of confrontations must we have? Now, if you follow the Holy Spirit who lives inside of us, we'll know what we need to say. There'll be some of the things that look small, but we need to say them because that little thing can destroy a great relationship. So we must always ask ourselves, do I need to say this? And once we realize that, yes, I need to say, we need to speak about it. Because, guys, marriage itself is every day trying to know why your spouse is doing something. So it might look like you're having confrontations every day, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Use the community you have to build great relationships, and I think we'll be fine. So, guys, final words as we end this episode on the things that is not fine at the end of the episode.
I have a lot to learn. So I think I appreciate this is now I'll ponder. It has made me think
Right.
about certain things.
Maybe one day we should have just an episode on expectations in relationships. I think it looks small, but it must be said. It must be discussed. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I've also been blessed more than
Right.
Yeah, I've been blessed, and I'm going to look at it again,
Right.
like practically, to be very bold and not be afraid of talking, being confronted or confronting,
Mm.
and look at communicating in a healthy way. I'm going to I'm going to look at it. It's very difficult for me, honestly. Yeah,
A lot to unpack.
I feel changed. Yeah, we came to help, but we are being helped. So yeah, for me, and I think relations, like we said from the beginning of this, is that relationships are very beautiful and very
Yeah.
nice thing,
Yeah.
and it's work, and we have to work
Yeah.
at it. And this is one of the workings that we have to do is being, voicing out your hurts and working towards the thing that kill relationships
Right.
and making it better.
Right.
Yeah. So that's my last.
When you were talking, you know the picture that what I just pictured. When you said relations are beautiful, I just look like a beautiful lawn or a beautiful garden. The weeds that come and take over is one that comes. It's just one that appears first. You might say, "Oh, I don't want to confront it because it doesn't have the power to take over the
The
entire
whole
garden."
garden.
But with time, it has come to multiply itself in various ways. And now you're going to struggle to take away or deal with something you could have dealt with when it showed
Yeah.
its head up. Edwina, final words before I keep talking.
I think I'll say is that we should just be mindful of these things that
Right.
destroy relationship, and we should try as much as possible to avoid these things, and
Right.
then we can have a beautiful relationship that we hope for. Yeah.
And perhaps maybe out there you have a relationship that's been destroyed or is struggling, and you feel like you want to, since we're looking at confronting, talking about it, let me show you one simple way as we close. Before you go and confront anybody, try and reassure the person of your love for the person. That's one. And then two, tell the person the reason why you are going to say what you are saying. That I'm here because I want my relationship with you to work. I'm not here to prove myself right, but I'm here not to win an argument, but for our relationship to win. I think it's a good way to go about talking and confronting people. So, guys, God bless you. Thank you for joining us. So, since you are here again, I want you to wrap up with what we usually say at the
All right, so I'm going to start, and as usual, love is going to end. But thank you so much. This has been good, and we want you to do one more thing. We want you to go on our YouTube channel, Conversations with Elton, like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and
Let's
let's
keep the conversations going.